Hello, and welcome to Leon's RC Hobbies. I hope everybody's doing well on this Wednesday. Today's video is, it's all about the Canyon and how much it cost and how much it cost with all the modifications and what modifications I've done. I've had a couple of people on forums asking me quite a few questions about this over the last couple of weeks. What have I done to it? What have I bought? So I thought I might as well just do an all-in-one video of it now. I can put it on my playlist, and then people can, next time they ask me, if they want information, I can direct them to there and they can check it all out for themselves. So also, first of all, I want to say a big thank you to RC Boise, or Rich, for the zing stickers. Thanks very much, mate. You're a legend. Even though I've got one of your old ones up there, we've got another one of your new ones on there as well. We got we got zing, and we got your RC Boise up there as well. So thank you very much, mate. Legend. So let's get on with this. So what I've done is done a price list as well. So the Canyon, for me, it's a great bit of kit. It's fantastic for the price. I paid around about 157. They're around about 160 now. Got up a couple of quid. But they're a fantastic bit of kit. Like I say, for the price. I mean, you get your TRX4s and things like that, which are absolutely fantastic bit of kits. Awesome trucks. Like 400 or 500 quid. For a good starting point truck, I think this is fantastic for the price and what you get. Now, some people ask me, and I've seen on other forums, like, as soon as they buy it, do I need to modify anything? And no, you don't. Plug it in, charge it up, and take it out and take it for a spin. It works right out of the box. The only problem with these is the chassis standard is very weak and crap. They have two metal parts of the chassis, one at the front and one at the back, and they meet up about 4 inches along, and they're joined by 2 screws each onto a plastic chassis and there's a load of flex. So meaning, the only thing not to do is when you buy one of these brand new, you take it out of the box, do not grab it from the front and the back and just lift it, because more than likely you will snap the plates off the chassis. That's what the problem is. I'll get to the actual chassis mod in a minute. If you're taking it out of the box, when you've took it out of the box and you're using it without the chassis mod, just grab it from the bottom and lift it from where the motor mount is. You'll have absolutely no problems, but just don't lift it from the front and back. Let's turn it over. Now, most people know about the chassis mods, but 009 Adventure, no, he did the motor mount one, we'll do that one, and he's done the chassis mod video. My chassis runs, a lot of people don't run it all the way to the very end of the bumper plate, which is this. I run my chassis all the way to the very end, and I also bolt it right at the very top there. A lot of people seem to bolt it here, which still flexes when you lift it. Same with the back, I bolt it right at the very back. Actually, you can see the bolts itself there. So that will stop. That means you can lift it up from the front and back. There is no flex in it. Chassis is absolutely solid, really worth it. And that's 15 by 15 mil angle, aluminium angle. You can get it on eBay, you can get B&Q, DIY. So it's very cheap stuff. It really is a cheap, but one of the most important mods. What else? Engine lift mod. I did that to mine. Now, like I say, 009 Adventures, he did a video on the engine mod. I will leave a link in the description for that. Shows you how it's easy. It looks daunting, but it really isn't. It's really easy to do. Originally, you'd have a bar that came down here and down here, and that's where the motor mount was. Just cut it completely off. I drilled a couple of holes, lifted it through. But like I say, 009 Adventures very much well explained, and it shows you how to do it. Right, what else on mine? Drive shafts. Drive shafts are just standard. There was nothing wrong, not standard, sorry. The metal drive shafts, my standard ones never broke, they're absolutely fine. I just wanted to review the steel ones that a lot of people were using, finding out what were they like. A lot of people were snapping them, and other ones. I've not broke mine yet, but I think that's to do with the backlash. There is a lot of slop in these, and includes in the wheel. So all this slop, say you're going up somewhere pretty steep like this, and then you let the power go and it rolls back slightly. all this backlash is all this weight is gonna go like this, and it's gonna either snap the CVs or it's gonna snap your shafts. But with mine having a 3-in-1 planetary gearbox, so it has loads of torque, it does not. I don't get the backlash. So, but I've sacrificed wheel speed for torque. Now you need plenty of wheel speed if you're going through mud, or you want to get up a really nice incline with a bit of power, a bit of speed, and you want to get it up there. The wheels are spinning, you know, struggling for grip, but it pushes it up. Where with me, I've got loads of torque. It's very, very slow speed, but I can climb over the more rockier stuff. But the big inclines, I'm gonna have a big problem with having more torque. It's just a preference for really a personal thing for anybody else. If they want more wheel speed, don't bother with a planetary gearbox. If you want it to run like a proper crawler, where you can just turn the steering throttle trim just a tiny bit and it just rolls over anything without stopping, that's the thing I went for with a planetary gearbox. I'm running a Ostar 35T motor, about £9 off eBay. I've had that now for 2 years, still running great, no problems. Just 1 second. Sorry, pots were moving in the sink, just crashed. That's it. So yeah, good motor setup for me. I wanted all the torque, so that's why I went for the planetary gearbox. The good thing about that is the motor spins very, very slowly, and it doesn't get hot because it's not running as fast as it would be if it was without the gearbox. People ask me about the battery. All I've done is turned it 90 degrees and it's just under the window. Some people have it inside and underneath here, but my shell, I've designed my shell where it's not something I want to be able to keep taking off, so it's a lot of hassle taking my shell off. So I put the battery where I know I could just get to it easy. ESC, it's a Hobbywing 1080, absolute fantastic ESC, fully programmable. Comes with a programmable program card. Let me find it. Comes with this program card. And don't forget, that's a brushed ESC, absolutely fantastic. For 40 quid, it's just a no-brainer. What else? A steering. I did the steering links and the steering rack, aluminium, eBay. It was like 11 quid. That was it was 2mm too long, so the tracking was really out. So I cut 1mm off this side and 1mm off that side, screwed them back in, absolutely spot on. I use a generic 25 kg metal servo with metal gearing. It says it's waterproof. I've had it underwater actually. It still works. Comes with an aluminium steering horn. I think it's about 12 quid. It wasn't very dear. What else have I done with mine? Let me just flip it over. Something you might tell with mine as well is the front slightly lower than the back. Originally, because I love the spare wheel on the back, it's just the look alike. It really does not help in any way. Actually, it's more of a hindrance, but a lot of people have the spare wheels on the back here or up at the front, which front I would definitely recommend. For me, it was just looks. I wanted that pickup style, Jeep sort of looking. So what I did is I stiffened the springs up on the back and I made them softer at the front. So when I go up inclines, suddenly the weight doesn't all suddenly throw back to the back wheels. Wow, just knocked the bottle over. But before I had the springs the way they was, it would have looked like it was like this all the time. It was really irritating, any inclines, and it was just rolling. It was flipping over. But now I've done that. It actually handles a lot better. It will do 50 degrees incline. What else? Wheels, Ostar 2.2s, beadlocks, steels. Now, a few people don't like these. It's not the design, it's more the fact that some people complain that when they put them on the truck, they bind. I think it's just to do with over tightening this nut, because these are on pretty tight, and as you can see, they move absolute free, no problem at all. I think that's the same with any RC car. I've got a couple of, some of my Tamiyas. If I over tighten these, it will lock these up a tiny. It will lock the wheel up a tiny bit. Even with steel or aluminium hex, they still bind up if you over tighten them. And because this is not something that's going to be travelling at high speeds, it travels very slow speeds. Now, as you can see, it's the nut is actually on it's on. But I don't see that coming off. If it was a Senton or something that was really fast, I would definitely make sure they were on tight enough that you're not going to lose the nut. But on something that travels so slow, I really don't have that worry. What else? Lights, eBay. They were about £8 each. What I did is, instead of getting an adapter, I just spliced one, connected them together into one plug, and then fit them in the receiver, and they both switch over fine. I have lead in my front wheels, in my bead locks. Tyre weights in both sides, none in the back because I don't need the weight on the back, it was the front. Just turn it over again. I have lead weights inside my front bumper, like an aluminium foil I had a load of it, and squished it all inside there. And then a bit of glue gun to stop them falling out. So that bumper is pretty weighty. It's pretty thick, chunky bumper. But all that is lead. So that helps. Aluminium bash plate on the bottom. It definitely helps cut though, because when you've got the motor is actually lower, it catches so much. I mean, if you look from this point of view, the motor would be at least here, and it would catch on all sorts. So I have to do the motor lift, put this on there, and you can see it's scratched. It works absolutely great, especially when you go over rocks and stuff instead of getting caught up. Same as the front with this is a stainless steel one. My friend Lee made me that and sent it me. He's a fantastic guy. But that's it. I'll go through the price and stuff. So, give me 1 second. I've got a thing here. So, wheels cost me 36 quid. That was eBay. Let's first of all, the car cost me 157. So the wheels were 36. ESC was 40. It's a 1080 hobby wing. Prop shafts were 11 quid. Steering rack, aluminium was a tenner. These lights are £8 each. Servo was 12 quid. Motor was 9 quid. 3-in-1 planetary gearbox was 17 quid. Aerials, which there's 2, were £3 a piece, and the actual light kit, because if you turn left, the indicators come on and the spotlights, and you turn right and the brake lights and reverse lights, that was a tenner. So altogether I have spent 167 on the Canyon. The Canyon cost me 157, so the whole thing together cost me 324 quid. Now, don't get me wrong, people will say, well, for that price you could buy yourself a dedicated crawler. That is very true. But when I set out and bought this Canyon, I had no idea I was going to get it to what it is now. I bought it, wanted it for a review, just to have some fun with it. And then, like anything else, when you start modifying anything, including my real cars in real life, I used to do the same thing. I spent thousands on them, but when I sold them, I never got the price for what I paid for all the parts, as you wouldn't do. But I'm really happy with my Canyon. I think it's a great bit of kit. I think for what it is, you don't have to spend any near amount of money on that. To be honest, all you need to do to have a fantastic trail truck is buy do the chassis mod and just buy a 1080 ESC. You don't need to buy anything else. The rest is just personal preference. For me, I can't leave anything alone. If it's the same as my Senton, I bought my Senton brand spanking new. It's been out for 5 minutes. It's actually not even had a proper run yet. So I bought that for what, 330, something like that, and then I paid 40 quid for just the shell, then 20 quid for the paints. I've just paid 74 quid for Badland wheels, and I paid 60 odd quid for the Gens Ace battery for it. And it's all nearly 500 quid, and it's not even been out. But it's just me. I can't help it. Anything I buy that's RC in any way, I just have to modify it. I think it's an addiction. It's got to be an addiction. I just can't leave it alone. But, sorry for going on. But if you want one of these, like I say, 160 quid. It's a fantastic bit of kit. What? just with the chassis mod, there's loads of people out there absolutely loving it. It just comes down to preference. If you get bored and you say, I want to change this, I want to change that, and you just change things up. But yeah, I hope you found anything on this video interesting. Like I say, I'll leave a link to 009 Adventures channel in the link in below, and ZZ, which is Rich, I will leave a link to his channel as well. But any questions, if you need any more info, please leave a comment, and thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. Bye. Don't forget to like.